Hello everybody at prideTV.com.au. Today on Linzi's Lounge I'm talking to the fabulous and really quite well known, do I call you Reverend Joe Etwell?
Well, you could call me Reverend Joy, yes.
Yes?
But Joy would be fine.
Joy will be fine.
Yeah.
Now, Joy, you're well known in our community for the things that you've done, especially at Spirit Lounge on JOY 94.9, which you're still doing.
Yes,
You
definitely.
are?
I've got a different team with me, but we're still on there. We lost the Puff and the Pom.
Yeah.
So
Because the Puff's moved up north.
yeah, for a man, of course.
Yeah, of course. Now, let's just sort of have a little bit of your own personal history. When young Joy was sort of running around and, doing what young Joys do, what was your driving force back then? Was there an interest in religion? Or?
I was actually brought up in a religious cult, which was very interesting because it was quite damaging.
Mm.
And so they preached very fundamentalist theology, and I was always in trouble because I was actually quite a kid who liked to buck the system and ask questions, and you can imagine a religious cult having a kid who did that didn't go down well. But basically we went to school, we went to church, we didn't mix outside of the cult. That was it.
Mm.
And that went on till I was 18. I left.
Good God, that's quite a time. So, in that period of time, there wouldn't have been a lot of outside interaction or outside influence in your life.
No, not at all. We weren't allowed to mix with people outside,
Mm.
and if we did, we got in trouble. But I mean, such silly things. You weren't allowed to wear makeup, no jewellery. You had to grow your hair long. Only skirts.
Oh no.
Or dresses, yeah.
No.
A bit devastating, isn't it?
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to go to movies, you weren't allowed to listen to music. Really, there wasn't much apart. And you went to church nearly every night of the week.
So, you're 18 when you leave. You would have been aware of your sexuality, though, prior to leaving the church?
Not at all. I had not a clue.
Mm.
And I was... one of the things when you got to 18 was that they would encourage you to get married, and even to the point of actually suggesting who you might marry.
Ooh. You've escaped a bullet there, thing.
And from the age of 5, it was interesting because I always said, I'm never going to get married and have children.
Mm.
And they said, yes, you will. And I kept on saying, no, I won't. I didn't know why.
Mm.
I'd never heard of homosexuals. Didn't know who they were, what they were, nothing about them. But kept on insisting, no, I will never get married and have children.
It's interesting because I was very much the same. There was nothing, and even now I could think of nothing worse than giving birth. And my grandma was, oh yeah, you will. No, I need to have a great-grandchild. And she'd say, I'll die when, you've had a baby. I said, we're going to be alive forever, Nan, But I think it's really quite common with a lot of lesbians when they're younger that, that's the first time they're probably conscious of bucking the system a bit.
Yeah, and I was a real, one of those real tomboys.
Mm.
And when you look back, you think, oh, yeah, this was a baby dying in the making.
Yeah.
And when I guess most people explore sexually with someone. For me, it was with people my own gender.
Right.
And I got caught in 4. Was there an upset in that one?
So there wasn't an excommunication, there was...
Well, I was only quite young.
Mm.
I was probably 12 or something, very young. When I left, there was excommunication.
Right.
Because once you left, and that, they told everyone that I was a drug addict and all sorts of crazy things to try and, demonise me so that other young people didn't follow in the footsteps. I wasn't on drugs, but when I left, I went a bit wild for a while, and I had sexual relationships with guys, lots of, and I used to drink heavily and go out to nightclubs, go straight to work, I had this,
as we did.
Yeah, exactly. And I still didn't know. I mean, I didn't enjoy sex with guys, but that was something you did. It's just part of life, so I did it. But I still didn't know that I was a lesbian. Had no clue. And then I went back to a church and just to see what it was like, because I thought, well, I know what it was like when I was growing up, but that was a cult. I was born into it. I didn't have a choice. You know, I wonder what churches are like. So I started exploring what churches were like, and I started going to church. But what I found was they were very dogmatic. You know, I was going to this Baptist church, and they wanted me to sign this pledge saying I wouldn't smoke, drink, or have sex. And I thought, oh
And
my
fun-
gosh, there's nothing
fun
left
generally,
in life,
yeah,
really.
yeah.
Is it? You know, this is what they say. But it was while I was at a church that I suddenly realised that I was attracted to this woman, and just like it just hit me. I saw her, and she was actually straight, and there's never anything she wouldn't have ever even known. But I just thought, oh my God, I just want to jump on that woman. I just want to do what I don't know what, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
So that was when I first realised it, and of course when I told them that I was a lesbian, they sent me off to an ex-gay organisation to get made straight.
Oh, okay.
And I failed miserably.
So you didn't get the diploma at the end of that. I am now a heterosexual woman, and please let me have babies with
No,
you.
I think I got expelled.
So tell us a little bit about that, because that's sort of, you know, another piece of the joy Etwell pie, isn't it really?
Yeah. Luckily with the ex-gay organisation, I didn't get really into it. I didn't go to their groups. I just had to go for counselling with this person, Debbie, her name was, once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they go into all this crap about your parents. You know, it's all your parents, and it's all about your relationship with them. Now, I didn't have a good relationship with my parents because they were part of the cult.
Mm.
And they had let the cult do some pretty awful things to us. So, yeah, but they blamed them for everything.
But we see a lot these days about these organisations that, you know, supposedly do turn gay people straight. Was there any, you know, her as a human being, was she compassionate or was she very anti-gay? Because, you know, usually the people that are against are usually, you know, she's probably rip-roaring lesbian in the background or something.
Well, she used to be a lesbian,
Okay.
according to her.
Yeah, okay.
And she was then married. And as far as I know, she's still married. But I know that a lot of the leaders from that particular one that I got sent to, they ran off together.
Yeah. As they do.
But the reality is that I met this young guy there, the saddest story. He'd been going for 12 years.
Mm.
And he had never been to a gay nightclub. He'd never had a relationship with a man. He had just gone along trying for 12 years to be straight.
Mm.
And I often wonder about him and whatever happened to him, because it was just so sad. I mean, the thing for me was, and I was fairly strong-willed, is that I had sort of in my mind accepted that I was lesbian, and then I had to decide, well, what did that mean for my Christianity? Because my Christianity to me was really important.